Hey there, it's Susan Johnson with Susan Johnson Associates. It is time for another Time Out Tuesday, and my sweet good friend Tempi Wilkinson is here with me today. And we're into the fall season at this point in time. Halloween is quickly approaching. We also have Thanksgiving and Christmas just around the corner. So I asked Tempi to come and talk with us about some do's and don'ts as far as staging goes, particularly during the holidays. So thanks so much for taking time.
Thank you for having me. I just wanted to go over some do's and don'ts for when you're staging your home for the listing. I did bring some props, but I want to start with first keeping in mind that when you do your photos for the listing, you want to be sure that you don't have too many of your seasonal decor still out in the picture. So what we want to look at is making sure that we keep our Christmas tree to scale.
Oh, that's a good idea. So basically, I don't want to have my Christmas tree still in my photos when my listing is still active in March. That's what you're saying?
Absolutely. You don't want to have a lot of the scarecrows and the gravestones and things like that out if your listing if your listing is still getting viewed in the spring. You don't want to have those seasonal items still present in the background.
Absolutely, because it'll show that it'll date it for
absolutely,
sure. So,
absolutely. You also want to be sure that when you put out your decor that you use more of a neutral palette. I did bring some of the props here.
What do you have here?
You want to bring a lot of the outside elements in because that's very neutral. It's very soothing as far as the staging goes. You want to keep with your basic colors. You don't want to do, I understand that people like blue or Tiffany blue and things like that when they do their decorations in the house. We want to keep in mind, and I always say this to my clients, that your home is where you're going. As soon as the sign goes in the front yard, that becomes your house. So save those decorations, use those in the next property that you go into. But for this season, let's just try to keep it neat and clean and very minimal. I know a lot of people use the term minimal when they're talking about staging, but in our decor, we definitely want to do that. We want to steer away from the tombstones and the scary spiders. This is cute and this is fun, and I understand, a lot of my clients have children and they want to make sure that they really blow it out, but we want it to be more of a soothing decor palette when someone comes in. We don't want people, you have to be careful with religion. You have to be careful with politics. You have to be careful with sports teams even. And that's just year round when it comes to staging. So during the holidays, we certainly don't want to make it very specific. We want it to be decor that comes with ease. I did bring an example. We also, even though you have the pumpkins, this one, for example, if you were to put this out in your foyer, the fact that it has a W on it,
it personalizes it.
It personalizes it, and we obviously don't want to do that when we're staging. So just flip it around. Just be mindful when you put out your decorations. Also, be mindful of safety and security. I always tell my clients, this is not the time of year to go ahead and wrap everything and stick it under their tree.
For Christmas time?
For Christmas time, because you are showing the house. You do have strangers. I'm sure that a lot of your realtors are being very safe and making sure that they understand the people coming in the house would be fine. However, you just don't want to put that temptation out there. So I tell them if they want to stage around the bottom of the tree, they can add empty presents, just wrap empty boxes. Remember to keep that neutral palette, that neutral tone with the gift wrap.
That was some really awesome information. Thanks so much for taking time to kind of walk us through that. So you also go into client homes to use what they have in their homes, and you can move it around and
Absolutely.
stage it. And then you have furniture that you can stage vacant homes also. What's your favorite? What do you like to do the most?
Well, that's I'm glad you brought that up. The vacants are what obviously we can do in staging, but what I really find most rewarding is when I can go out and actually work with a client to make it livable while the houses are being shown. Consults are actually my favorite part of the whole staging process because I have done investment properties and lived in the home with children and with fur babies. I found a way to be able to maintain the home and still keep it show ready.
That's awesome. Speaking of fur babies, you might see my fur baby in the back. So sorry about that. But so if folks decide that they want to go ahead and list during this time of year, how do they contact you if they want to get a staging consultation?
Well, any of the realtors that are interested in contacting me can call me. My phone number is 704-400-2203. I do have a website, and my Facebook page is Staging by Tempi. That's Tempi.
Oh, yeah, good point.
I have to say that.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm glad you did.
Yeah. So if anyone needs to get in touch with me, that would be great. I do love working with realtors. I have an ongoing relationship with several realtors that it's very easy. They can just call me and I take it from there. I know you understand this being a realtor. A lot of times realtors tend to not want to be bad cop.
Yep.
So I don't mind doing that and having that relationship with the clients. I'm just here to help the realtors. I want to get top dollar for the property and sell it as fast as possible.
Awesome. We appreciate you for doing that.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks so much for taking time and for showing us how to decorate during the holidays.
Absolutely.
Thanks again so much for another Time Out Tuesday. We look forward to seeing you guys again next week.